This is KGW News at noon.
We begin with breaking news this noon. In the last hour, Attorney General Merrick Garland announced a special counsel to oversee the Justice Department's investigation into former President Donald Trump. Hello, I'm Christine Pitawanich. Thank you for joining us. This news comes just 3 days after Trump announced his bid for the 2024 presidency. The AG has named the lead investigator as Jack Smith. He will take over both the investigation into the presence of classified documents at former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort and the events that transpired on January 6th.
The Department of Justice has long recognized that in certain extraordinary cases, it is in the public interest to appoint a special prosecutor to independently manage an investigation and prosecution. Based on recent developments, including the former president's announcement that he is a candidate for president in the next election, and the sitting president's stated intention to be a candidate as well, I have concluded that it is in the public interest to appoint a special counsel.
Smith is a prosecutor at The Hague and a former federal prosecutor. He will begin serving as special counsel immediately and is flying back to the U.S. right now. Closer to home, we're also following a case out of Clark County, Washington, getting a lot of attention. A man sentenced to life in prison for strangling a 14-year-old to death in 2005 just got resentenced. It's all because of a change in Washington's 3 strikes law. Just moments ago, a judge sentenced Roy Russell to just over 26 years in prison. That is the maximum possible under the guidelines. It includes time served, so Russell will spend at most 9.5 years behind bars. So this story is pretty complex. This is how we got here. Russell strangled 14-year-old Chelsea Harrison in his Vancouver apartment in 2005. He got life in prison under the state's 3 strikes law. The law mandates a life sentence after 3 violent felonies. But in 2019, state lawmakers removed second-degree robbery as a strike for future offenders, which was a charge on Russell's record. Then last year, lawmakers made that change retroactive, allowing as many as 114 criminals to be resentenced. That included Russell. His original trial's prosecutor spoke in court today and urged the judge to give him the max sentence possible.
I personally will never forget the pain, anguish, and hell that Chelsea's family went through. I've tried a lot of cases in my 27 years, but this fact pattern in this case was the worst. But even worse than all of that was for me to get a call earlier this year from Chelsea's family asking, quote, "Is Mr. Russell going to get released?" End quote. My jaw literally dropped. I was unaware of the law that had passed.
Chelsea's grandmother also spoke in court and slammed lawmakers and Governor Jay Inslee for the new law. The senators who sponsored the 2021 bill have declined to comment on the case. We're also learning new details about the case involving 4 murdered students near the University of Idaho. The coroner's office now officially confirming all 4 were stabbed to death at a home near campus. Now they're examining whether the students who died have wounds from trying to defend themselves. Investigators also confirmed 2 other roommates were inside the home at the time. Police say they were not hurt, and at this point, they are not considered suspects. Investigators also say there were no signs of forced entry into the home. Right now, the search is still on for a suspect and the weapon. Portland City Council pushed back a vote on how to pay for the plan addressing the homeless crisis. This after hearing feedback on funding yesterday. The plan includes banning unsanctioned camping and building 6 homeless campuses. The proposal itself has already been approved. City Council is now looking at making several changes to the budget in order to get the money needed. Here's a quick look at some of the numbers. They're talking about a $4 million down payment to build the sites and more than $12 million to run them. Council says hiring security will cost about $750,000. They're also planning to spend more than $3 million on outreach. Altogether, we're talking somewhere around $20 million. We'll let you know when there are more developments. Oregon Health Authority Director Patrick Allen announced yesterday that he will be stepping down as head of the agency. The announcement was quickly followed by the agency's behavioral health director announcing he too will be leaving. Both administrators' exits will coincide with the end of Kate Brown's time as governor. Ahead of her November victory, Oregon's next governor, Tina Kotek, indicated she would replace Allen, as did Republican Christine Drazan and the unaffiliated Betsy Johnson. All three also agreed on giving the behavioral health director the boot. Some people along the southern Oregon coast woke up to some shaking this morning. Data from the USGS show a 4.5 magnitude quake hit about 100 miles off the coast of Coos Bay. It happened just before 8 a.m. and it did not trigger any tsunami warnings. We also have not heard any reports of damage. Okay, lots of weather to talk about as of late. It is beautiful out right now, some blue skies out there. It's also been pretty cold, and of course, we've got wind as well that we've been talking about. Chris, what should we be expecting weather-wise this weekend?
You know, at the bottom of that picture you just showed, the Wells Fargo sky camera, you can see the flags in downtown Portland still kind of snapping a bit in the breeze. It is clear, as you mentioned, and it is beautiful out there, but that wind does still sting just a little bit, and it's still with us. It's not nearly as strong as it was yesterday, but in some cases pretty breezy. On the east side of town right now, Corbett reporting sustained winds at 21 miles an hour. Sustained at PDX at 15 with gusts on the order of about 20 to 25 have been common so far this morning. And the east wind even being felt at the coast. Tillamook right now reporting a northeast wind sustained at 17. So breezy, yes, but not quite as intense as yesterday. In fact, I think yesterday we were looking at winds, you know, a good 10 to 15 miles an hour higher than this for much of the metro area. All right, right now we are 49 degrees. The air really dry. Look at the dew point and the humidity really low. So dry air in place, a clear sky, and that will be with us for the rest of the afternoon. I'm not sure that we go any warmer than we are, but certainly as we get towards sundown, temperatures are going to drop pretty quickly. By 6 o'clock, I've got us down to 44. Sunset this evening, 4:37, getting earlier and earlier. But I do have lots of daylight in the weekend forecast in terms of sunshine. More on that coming up in just a few minutes.
Okay, thank you, Chris.